Hello, and this is Paul with Two Birds, One Stone Backyard Gardening and Living. And today we're just going to do a simple maintenance on the asparagus patch. It's springtime and they're just starting to show. I'll show you what I got here. So I'm going to really lightly burn this thing, and that's it. Vamonos. Come with me real quick and let me show you if I can. Oh, there's some are. They're starting to come up. So I'm going to avoid burning directly those guys. They're coming up everywhere. Thought I saw one. Oh yeah, even right here. Bloop. Not too many weeds in here. I'm going to get the sides so that the weeds don't come in. Oh, look, there's another one. Nice big chunky guy. Oh yeah. This is the third year. This is the harvest year, you guys. I'm still going to go a little light on the harvest, but I'm going to enjoy some asparagus. The first plant you should put in on your food forest, asparagus. Perennial vegetable that's absolutely delicious and lasts for 30, 40 years or something like that, or more. Especially with maintenance. Very simple, easy maintenance. You don't need a propane torch, but that's one of the methods I use. This is the results of hand weeding plus a little torching. Asparagus don't like competition from weeds, or are particularly sensitive about it, so it's a good one to have weed free. I'll put a little bit more mulch on this afterwards, a little later once the asparagus become more prominent, after they stick their little heads up, their phallic little bodies. All right, let's just burn this really lightly. Watch this. I'll put this, protect it. Oh, just a really light burn. You guys, as you watch me burn this asparagus bed, I'm going to tell you an amazing story. I grew up in the state of Maine in a log cabin in the woods without running water or electricity. And when I was 16 years old one day, I drove home from school. And as soon as I got home, I had to go to the bathroom. And if you don't have running water and you don't have electricity, that means you go to the bathroom outside in an outhouse. And this afternoon, it was particularly cold. It was a fall afternoon and the ground was frozen. So when you stepped, it went crunch, crunch, crunch as you stepped. And so I crunched my way to the outhouse. And in the outhouse, I had a ritual. And that ritual might sound crazy to you, but I would take a piece of toilet paper and wad it up, light it on fire, and on a cold afternoon, and throw it into the toilet, or in through the toilet seat, down onto the dry poops below, and let the warm air waft up to my butt. And there was a little vent on the side of the outhouse, so the smoke theoretically could go out through the vent, and the warm air would waft up to my butt. And this wasn't really super functional. It worked a little bit. Cold toilet seats are horrible. But it was also kind of an entertaining thing to do. On this particular day, my dad had done something different, and I didn't take the time to notice. He would always, about once a year, shovel all the old, dry, composted poop. It was composted because after you do your number 2, you would put some peat moss and you would put some ash onto the poop, and it would decompose throughout the year. And he would take all that dry, good, composted poop and shovel it and put it onto our wild blackberries. And I'll tell you what, we had some amazing wild blackberries. But on this particular afternoon, he had done that. And he had put a fresh layer of peat moss down where the poop had once been. And so normally when you throw a piece of flaming toilet paper onto the poop, it would just, go out. But what happened on this day was different. So I threw my flaming toilet paper in there. I did my business, didn't think twice, shut the toilet lid, and went back inside and went to bed. And when I went to bed, I always had the same thing I would do. I would put it at 7 o'clock on the TV radio, because we didn't have a TV, so we got TV signal through a radio. And I would listen to Frasier at 7 on NBC, and then after Frasier at 7:30, Seinfeld. And you'd be amazed about how much of the programs you can get without actually having to see it. The next morning I woke up and I went outside and I turned the corner and I walked towards the outhouse, and to my amazement, the outhouse was nothing but a black ring, completely gone, a black ring of torched trees. The outhouse was about 40 feet from the house, so this could have been pretty bad. But it was still smoking a little bit. I looked at the outhouse. I immediately knew what happened. And I immediately thought to myself, Paul, you're not going to tell a soul that you are responsible for burning down the outhouse. I felt horrible. I was nervous as hell. And I drove to school. And the whole day at school, I was nervous. And I was, how could you not think about burning the outhouse down? And I was thinking of all the lies I could tell, or I wasn't sure what was going to happen. But I got home from school, and my dad and my sister were both at the house, and neither of them said anything. They didn't know what had happened. The next morning, nobody said anything. I went to school, got home, same scenario, Seinfeld, or Frasier than Seinfeld. Nobody said anything. People weren't pooping in the outhouse. They were cheating. They were using the facilities at the school, my sister, I'm sure. And my dad would drive to Bangor to his art studio. So they were pooping in different places. I got home from school again. Nobody said anything. But finally, on the third day, I woke up to a commotion downstairs. And I knew they had discovered the outhouse. And my dad said, Paul, come down here. But in his voice wasn't as angry as I had expected. So I went downstairs, and my dad said, Paul. And he kind of had a slight smile on his face. He said, go outside, Paul, and see if you notice something different. So I went outside, and I purposely walked away from the outhouse towards the rope swing. And he said, no, Paul, go around back. And so I turned around, and I went around back, and I walked towards the outhouse looking around. And then I pretended that I found it. I said, oh my God! Oh, the outhouse is gone! What happened? And my dad said, Paul, it was your sister with her cigarettes. I said, oh, goodness. Oh, my goodness. And so begins the start of my history of fire. I'm now a wildland firefighter, and I use fire in the garden all the time. I think it's great for your asparagus bed, and I think that it's very, very dangerous, and you got to be careful with it. But you know what else I learned? I learned that if you're going to tell a lie, you got to stick with it. And also, like a bottle of Coca-Cola. If you take that Coca-Cola and you shake it, you don't open it right away. You let it calm down. You open it, and it goes back to normal. And so what happened basically with this outhouse is 7 or 8 years later, after I had long moved out of the house, my little brother finally had loose lips, and he told my dad about who was really responsible for the outhouse. And by that time, the bottle didn't overflow, if you know what I mean. Anyway, this has been Two Birds, One Stone, Backyard Gardening and Living. And if you're interested in using fire in the garden, if you're interested in asparagus, in perennials, vegetables, and especially fruit trees, and pruning them intensely to keep them small, then subscribe, hit the like button, and thanks for watching. When you get a response on YouTube, it really makes me feel wonderful. So like a like or a subscribe even, it makes me feel good about doing this weird videos that I'm doing. So thanks for watching, and have a great day, and good luck with your food forests.